Hey guys, it's 12 inch here, and we're going to show the runes that you should be taking on Urgot. Yes, I demoted. Okay, I'll be back. No worries. Okay, so they deleted all my runes, so I guess we're going to have to make them all anyway. So let's create a new page. First, we're going to start off with making my personal jungle Urgot page. I know a few people have mentioned Predator as a good way to solve how slow he is in the jungle. I feel like it's sacrificing too much. So first, we'll go into precision. I think press the attack is incredible on him. Starting with 8% vulnerability and 40% base damage. I think that's incredible for a champion that procs PTA in 1 second flat, or less than a second if you're using an auto reset. Triumph because you're building a ton of HP in Cinderhulk. I think it's great. Um, Alacrity doesn't make any sense. Bloodline is too golden efficient, to be honest. I'd rather stack Tenacity. And then finally, Last Stand and Coup de Grace are both very good. However, I personally like Last Stand because you're executing people. When they're so 15% of the 40% or less. Uh, for Coup de Grace, it's only 15% you're getting value for, but at the same time, it gives you extra attack. So I mean, it's okay. It's personal preference. It really doesn't matter that much as long as you're not taking cut down. So personally, I take Last Stand. Um, now for this tree, generally, I'm a huge fan of taking stopwatch approach velocity. I think this is great, right? But Urgot's slow. So what I've been doing as of late, and what I think I'm going to continue doing in the future, is taking celerity water walking to fix the problem that Urgot is very slow and can't go across the map well. So this is my Urgot jungle page. Okay, so next we're going to make another page. This is going to be Urgot top. So top lane, you have two options. Generally, well, actually three. I take that back. Generally, I go Airy. I always go Mana Flow. Nimbus Cloak is what is known in the mains community as a noob trap. It looks very good. You think, wow, a lot of movement speed or got slow. You can get his ult into the enemy team and you can fear them all. Great, right? But the thing is Mana Flow Band giving a total of 250 bonus mana is in some parts placebo, but in some parts very good. For example, if there are a lot of Ocean Drakes in the game and you're restoring missing mana, you have more missing mana. Like the gold value of Mana Flow Band is very high. So 250 mana is very good. And on top of that, getting kind of like a Chalice passive is awesome. Is just having that. It keeps you not necessarily topped off, but you're never running on empty. And if you are running on empty, it's not for long. So I take Mana Flow Band. A lot of people say Celerity. I know Nick Ram, the Challenger Urgot main, also likes Celerity. However, I think that 1.5% extra movement speed and I think it's 5 extra attack from boots just isn't worth long term. Versus 10% cooldown reduction is awesome. We're not going to look at absolute focus because staying above 70% HP for somebody who's going to be frontlining and surviving with a shield on his last legs, probably not the mastery for him. But 10% cooldown reduction helps you at the CD cap. Obviously, you never go over the CD cap because 12 AD is not worth 10% CDR. For those of you who do not know. Finally, the two options here for top lane Urgot are Scorch or Gathering Storm. So if we look at Scorch, 20-second cooldown for 20 damage early game. 24, 30 damage as the lane goes on. I personally don't think it's very good. You're going to get one Scorch off when they don't have bone plating, and if they do have bone plating, you just lose your Scorch, right? As opposed to Gathering Storm, which allows Urgot to have a very fruitful late game. Game hits 30 minutes, and suddenly Urgot's looking at like 2980. It's awesome. In my opinion. I know a lot of people like Scorch, they like playing the lane bully more. I tend to think that Urgot's strong enough in lane where it doesn't matter. So over here, we could take Triumph, Tenacity, not a bad choice. Over here, we could probably take Ultimate Hunter, Cheap Shot, good for lane bullying. Cheap Shot might be better with Scorch. Or we could take, Second Wind, Revitalize, good combos, all good things on Urgot. Personally, I'm a big fan of Inspiration, since when you cast his ultimate, you can use Zanya's, or a derivative of Zanya's, Stopwatch. So you can use Stopwatch if Urgot is mid-ult, right, and you're going to die. Let's say Singe Poison is ticking on you, right? And you know you'd live, you just had a couple more seconds, right? Or maybe your W's coming up, and you just need a couple more seconds before you die. We've all been there, right? You're getting dove, you have no mobility, you need to land to ult somebody, and you just need to hide for a couple seconds. This is that item. At 8 minutes, Zanya's is just there for you. It costs nothing, it is just there. Also, we build gargoyles every single game. So reducing the cooldown of Gargoyle's Stoneplate by 15% and lowering its total build cost by 300 is a great bonus. And then looking down at this tree, futures market is okay. Lending fee really just kind of makes me not want it. There's nothing that Urgot really needs to rush. Obviously, he wants his core items, but he gets those in time. Biscuit Delivery, actually, I've thought about this because it's got a lot of synergy with Mana Flow Band because it's building extra mana, and it's pretty good because you get 4 biscuits. Yeah, you get 4 biscuits, so it's 160 extra mana. Pretty good for Mana Flow Band, right? So I mean, honorable mentions, Biscuit Delivery, Cosmic Insight, always good. It's kind of a placebo. You're not really using your stuff on cooldown, except for W. So 5% is, it's okay. But you're not hitting CDR cap until later in the game anyway, so it's not really a big issue. Time Warp Tonic, awesome. If you're going Celerity, probably a better choice. Simply because you are always starting with Corrupting Potion, unless you are taking different runes. So Corrupting Potions and Time Warp Tonic is awesome. You're keeping your Corrupting Potion until like 30 minutes in the game, so go ahead. But my personal favorite is Approach Velocity. Okay, so ally champions that are moving, basically Urgot's main issue is he is very slow. Okay, that's why Time Warp Tonic is an honorable mention. I used to take magical footwear when you could take footwear in perfect timing. You can't do that anymore. So I had to say goodbye. It's great. It's great. I think timing is better for those clutch plays that you really do need, because sometimes you get behind. I misplay. Everybody misplays. We'd all be higher elo if we did better. So Cosmic Insight, okay. Movement speed, good, right? More movement speed, great. Why would you take 5% that you sometimes get rather than 15% that you almost always get? An ally getting movement impaired? I mean, that's every game. Every champion, you're not going to face a team of people that have no CC at all. Movement impairment is slows, knockbacks, knock up, like anything that would CC your team, you get 15% movement speed towards them, right? Awesome. Right off the bat, awesome. Then we're looking at 15% movement speed towards enemy champions that you impair. So you build Frozen Mallet every game. So Black Cleaver, right, gives you a little bit of movement speed every time you auto somebody or deal physical damage to something, right? Approach Velocity, so if you land a Q, you get 15% extra movement speed towards that person. If you land an ult, 15% extra movement speed towards that person. This is just early game. Mid-game, when you have your Frozen Mallet, every single auto you do gives you 15% extra movement speed. This is insane. That's so much gold value. 15% for autoing? For taking a piss? You get 15% extra movement speed? Awesome. Love this mastery. Not many people take it. I've been trying to push it on Urgot mains. A few people listen to me, which I'm glad for. But my personal favorite rune on Urgot. So this is going to be Urgot Top. Okay? So, Urgot Top, honorable mention here, instead of Summon Airy. So Summon Airy is generally good against, so we're going to call this Urgot Top Melee. Okay? So if you're into a melee champion, Summon Airy, you're going to get a lot of Airy procs off. Eri doesn't have a ton of late game longevity, but you'll get a lot of procs off. You're getting 20 procs off in like 5 minutes. And you're doing good with Eri. That's a lot more damage than Comet. You don't have to worry about bone plating eating your Comet. You're doing a lot of damage. Let's say you are into, so let's make the tree again. So you are into Gangplank, right? And Gangplank is melee, right? But Gangplank Qs, right? He's Qing you with Grasp. He's doing a lot of trading. You might not kill him early, but Comet is going to do a lot of chip damage. So if you have very specific damage windows and you're not hitting him all the time because you're afraid of him getting all those Grasp procs on you, maybe you're into Quinn and Quinn is just hammering you from a distance. You need something that's more late game. Well, Arcane Comet has late game longevity. If you hit somebody with the ult late game, Eri is probably not going to get him under 25%. However, Comet, yeah, I've found a lot of the time that Comet is getting kills for me. Comet is pulling people below the threshold so I can ult him in. Comet is, I'm not going to say very good late game, but much better than Eri. So if you're into a ranged matchup, so we're going to call this Urgot versus ranged, right? So if you're in a ranged matchup or a semi-hard lane that you don't think you can win, or you think you're only going to be able to go even in, that Eri won't help you a lot, Comet is also a very good choice. Now, what I've been experimenting with into Renekton specifically, right? I'm sure a couple other champions, but extremely hard lanes for Urgot, where Urgot cannot trade, right? Or if Urgot trades, he has to be tanky enough to take damage, right? So if you have to take damage on Urgot, so say you're into Renekton, previously impossible lane for me. So I've been having to try out new things to make the lane work. The only times I have made this lane work, Urgot and Renekton specifically, I'm not advocating it for other lanes because I haven't tested it extensively enough. Obviously, I'll put in a disclaimer under this video as I play it more. But currently in my mid diamond elo, I go Grasp, Demolish in case he gets bullied out of lane. You always want to just push down turrets as fast as you can because you don't want to be laning against Renekton. He's too big. Dude starts off 1-4, ends the game with like 20 kills. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. So second wind, Overgrowth. Personally, I Overgrowth and Revitalize are both good. It's personal preference. If you think you're gonna get a lot of grass procs, or you're building your HP first, and you think Overgrowth is good because you'll be splitting a lot, by all means, go Overgrowth. I think Revitalize is great because you're using your shield all the time. It doesn't matter what HP you are, so 5% extra shield, great. And then if you're below 40%, you get an extra 10% shield. So, if your shield is 600 damage, you get an extra 60 shield. Overgrowth is probably going to give you like 300 HP tops when the game ends. So it's personal preference. Neither of them are particularly awesome, but you want one of them. Unflinching is great, but it's not. We're looking for a survival page, So that's our first page. So one of our options is taking Transcendence Gathering, right? Or taking Mana Flow Band Transcendence. Probably Mana Flow Band Transcendence. This would be one of our options, right? Okay, page, not too bad. Personally, I don't like this because it halves my total HP, and this is a survival page. And I want to have a very linear thought process when I go into Renekton. So I take my perfect timing. If he ults me and dives me, I want to have some insurance that I'll be fine. And I take Approach Velocity because I think it's great, and I think it's great for the late game especially, once I get my Frozen Mallet. My build doesn't change, just my runes. Personally, this is a Urgot versus Renekton page, right? Save it as such, and those are our three basic pages, for jungle, melee, ranged, Renekton. Okay, this is where it starts to get a little funky. Okay, so now you are Urgot ADC / Urgot support. Okay, so Urgot support, you're taking Mana Flow Band, you're taking Transcendence, you're taking Scorch, you are taking Domination Tree, you're going Cheap Shot, and you are probably going to go Ultimate Hunter. And your only objective this game is to Q poke and ult people. I don't suggest this. I'm gonna type it out because if you guys get autofilled and you need it, by all means go ahead. But your team's gonna hate you. You might hate yourself by the end of this game. But this is the Urgot support page. This is kind of the Urgot ADC page. You know, you can go approach velocity stopwatch if you want, but Urgot is just not good enough to go into a 2v2 lane. If you're in the lane, you want to make sure that you can do the lane well. So here you go. So I mean, those are our pages. Urgot mid should be going this page. You know, comment, because almost everybody's mid is range. If you're into like Diana or something, of course you can go Airy. So if you're going mid, it really doesn't matter. There's a Predator page for Urgot jungle. I'm just not a big fan of it. I prefer PTA, my Celerity Water Walking. I think it's a great change. So these are Urgot runes. You know, be sure this is going in my modifier guide as well as YouTube. So if you have any questions about it, I'm always on stream at 12-inch twitch.tv/12-inch for you penis, and on YouTube. You can hop on my Discord, anything you want, ask me any question you want. I may be changing these in the future. This is just the base video for my guide. Thanks for watching, guys.